Okay. Okay, welcome, Lawrence. I'm super happy to have you today on our show.
Thank you to you to invite me. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. So I've been dying to talk to you and find out more about what you do and also what's happening with the Italian fashion industry now with all the changes that are happening. But let's just start initially by telling everyone who you are, what you do, where you're located.
Yes, I have a company here in Italy since 1979, so it's a long story. And my company make bags and leather garments, and we work mainly for fashion sectors. My main business is about bags, and we make even leather garments. But today, mainly of my business is about leather goods, small leather goods, and bags.
And whereabouts are you located in Italy?
We are located in the south of Italy, close Naples. Here we have a tannery where we produce leather. We have a factory where we make bags, and another factory where we make leather garments. And now we are even trying to buy a show manufacturing, because there is a chance now to buy a new company. Thanks to this situation about coronavirus, our government can give us some credit. Then after we can go back. We can, so maybe if we have chance to put, to take this credit, we want to buy and we want to improve and increase our business and entering in shows market as well.
Amazing. So that means that you feel positive about the industry if you're looking to expand.
Listen, the situation that happened is a disaster, because coronavirus is a disaster, and I'm so sorry about what happened. But if government give us this credit that after we have to give back in 7 or 8 years, I think that there is a chance. People want to invest now. They can take this money, and after step by step, you can give back to the government. I think then the debt will be shared in 7 years, 8 years.
Yeah.
So, it's a good chance, because nobody give you money now, and after you can give back in 7 8 years. People like us, our company, that they have a perspective, that they want to make the total look inside. Because what's happened is that sometimes I have a brand or customers that they are already working with us, and we are making bags or leather garments, and they ask me if I can make shoes as well, because they are happy to work with us and they don't want to change. In the past, I always give information and advices about friends of mine or other companies that I know. But now we have this chance, so I'm very positive. And if we got this money from government, why not to try? And this is a service that we offer to our buyers, our customers.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a thing.
No, you're right. And I think that there's a lot of positivity that's happening despite the hardship and, you know, the economic downturn. I think that there's a lot of positive things that can come out of this time. So it's nice to see you that you're looking and thinking about expansion as opposed to how am I going to survive? Would I have enough clients? And so what is business like at the moment? I mean, when you reopened what, 3 weeks ago?
Yes, we reopened 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we had some pending order to ship out and to finish. Yeah. But main problem is that we finished some pending order, but we couldn't ship out because they still closed the airport. Now this morning I spoke to DHL because I have 200-300 bags to ship out to a customer in South Africa. And I was waiting asking them how was the situation about custom and flight. And they are making a research because honestly, I know that this is still close everything. So maybe from next Monday, there will be an opening about flight and custom, and I can ship out the bags and we can go back at the normality.
Yeah.
Honestly, the situation about flight is a disaster because even the prices are completely up.
Yeah.
Imagine that this shipment, it will be very, very expensive for us and for the customers because the system is stopped, everything is standby. So I hope to get back to the normality as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because the situation.
In the meantime, have you seen maybe more European designers get in touch with you, people that might have considered to go somewhere else, but now staying within Europe or staying within Italy?
I have a lot of requests, and my normal customers speak every day to me. They are a bit worried. And we have a lot of contact in this time, in this period, about new designers that they want to work with us in Italy. And honestly, I think that people is scared because they don't know exactly what will be the future.
Yeah.
For us, it's a bit different because luxury brands or people who already organize the work, they're still ordering. So we're still processing and working. But I don't know in 1 month or in 2 months how will be the system and how will be the business. By the way, I'm positive.
Yeah.
I'm positive because listen, Desi, if everything has to die, so we have to close everything.
Yeah. Well, that won't happen. That won't
I don't know. We are positive and we have to survive because we have two different companies. We have 25 workers at the moment. They are working, they have families, and the government in Italy seems to be close us. And this is important because even politics and our government, if they give us money to go on, they are closed factories, system will be not stop it and block it. But this is something that we have to see in the future, not now.
Yeah, so let me take you back to the beginning where we started. How did you get into manufacturing? Was it your family that was in the industry, or how did you get into it, and why did you choose to be in the luxury sector?
I started working as tanner because my family has tannery.
Oh, okay.
So I worked since my childhood in the tannery, and I know very well about leather for garments, leather for bags, and leather for shoes. But what happened that after I like fashion and I'm in touch with the designer, I'm in touch with the creative people. So after we had the chance in the past to buy a bag factory, and so we entered in this business, and my family leave this field to me that I like so much, because the tannery is, how can I say, the tannery is a super job, because you have to develop the leather, to develop colors cards is fantastic. But to create a product in final is totally different.
Yeah, yeah.
So give me more.
And it's interesting, I think the fact that you have this tannery knowledge is so important, because the leather, most people don't realize, but the leather really changes from one animal to another. If 1 year was colder or rainier, you know, the leather is different. So just because you buy the same article season after season doesn't mean it's going to be the same leather, right?
The tannery, tannery give to me a lot of things, because in the tannery we make a lot of research. Yeah. For example, from the tanning, chrome, vegetable, semi-chrome, aluminium, until the final refinishing. If you need the leather that is shining, not shining, natural, embossed, perforated, laminated, the really word, because in the tannery, my family make around 200-300 articles monthly, new one, because the research will be always the future. The research, and even the luxury, even the designers, they always are looking for something new. And this is the future of, I think, our company, and even somebody who wants to survive. When you make a good research and development, and you offer always the market, because you are updating the market, you are attacking the market, I think that you have a lot of chance to survive, because no need always to make the same article. People wants to see new things. So the tannery gives to me this chance. But
research and these new developments cost a lot of money. How do you make sure that you get that investment back?
Well, first of all, about research and development, since the last 5 years, every time that you make a research, you will get back 50% of investment, because the government and there is a space of research. So it's not so expensive. But if you make a research, you will get back money, because research and development and innovation is refound.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
There is in the last 5 years is a field that a lot of people who make investment in this kind of field, they got back a part of this money. So it's good, because you invest, but after you take back part of this money.
Government, so the Italian government is supporting the fashion industry through this.
In the past was in this way. Now today, I don't know.
Okay, now we'll see. Yeah.
Let's see. By the way, there is some money that you get back when you spend in your company in research and development. So it's a good chance. It's a good chance.
So have you seen, since we're talking for the last 5 years, have you seen a change in the desire for leather and the attitude towards leather? Because there's been an increase in the whole vegetarian vegan movement. I know that I personally have been approached many times by people asking for vegan factories. I don't think people even understand what that means.
No, no.
But have you seen a change in attitude and impacting, you know, on the leather industry?
Well, we have to clarify that there is a big difference when we speak about leather. What I can tell you is that in the last 5 years, everybody started to speak about vegetable, eco-friendly, sustainable, vegan, but there is a bit confusion because also this is a chance to clarify even this point about the leathers.
Please.
When we speak about vegetable leather, so in this case, this is a vegetable leather. It means that the leather is tannin with tannin. Tannin is the main character of vegetable tanning because tannin is, we can find the tannin in quebracho and mimosa wood. So thanks to this tannin and water, we can prepare a tanning from leather that is vegetable, that there is no chemical prohibited inside. It means it's natural chemical because it's the wood and the water. And we make this vegetable leather that is 100% ecological.
Yeah.
But when somebody speak about vegan and they speak about PVC, PNC, this is all synthetic leather. And this kind of material is made with oil, petroleum is inside.
Yeah.
And nobody knows. So they speak about vegan, PVC, synthetic, but there is a big difference. Today, there are 2-3 tanning that are 100% ecological or sustainable. One of them is the vegetable that we used to make. And when we find a new designer, we explain to them this difference because they don't know. Yeah. They just want synthetic or vegan or PVC. Yeah. But to make this kind of material, inside there is a lot of oil and petroleum. So there is nothing of ecological.
Many of them are also not biodegradable. So I don't, you know, most people are not informed enough. They just latch on to a terminology and they look for something vegan. But then they call themselves sustainable, but they don't realize that the material is not sustainable or kind to nature. There's a lot of contradictions and a lot of misinformation.
The vegetable tanning, because inside there is the tannin.
Yeah.
So tannin make the vegetable leather. Mm-hmm. Because tannin is from wood, quebracho, mimosa. We mix it with water, and this is the recipe. There is nothing. So in this case, it's 100% sustainable, just a vegetable.
Tanning is the process of processing the animal skin to turn it into leather.
There is tannin and tanning. Tannin is we call the tannino. Okay. That is when the tannin you find even in the wine.
Okay.
In the wine, tannin is around us because this is an element that is around us. You can find in food, you can find in wine, and we use for tanning the leather, tannin.
Okay. So have you seen this move towards more vegan, sustainable, eco, etc., impact the leather industry? Have you seen less demand for leather, or what have you noticed?
I noticed that there is a lot of people who they ask, but after at the end, mainly of them go back to the normal calf leather. It means to the chrome tanning or the vegetable. Mm-hmm. Because the vegan exactly, they don't understand what it is. So once that they know that is not so sustainable, they say, sorry, I didn't know, so I go back. What do you suggest? Yeah. So in this case, when I spoke to young designer or established companies, established companies have more idea. So they know what we're speaking about. Generally, they change after. They go back to the vegetable or normal calf or sheep or whatever they need. But they prefer this kind of tanning. Instead, the young one, there is a lot of requests, questioning, but after it's very difficult to find this material, or when they know that it's not sustainable, they completely take off the idea, abandon the idea.
And sometimes they have designs that cannot eliminate the use of something natural. We were discussing about shoes, for example, and you were telling me the story of what was the story? Tell me again.
The story was that this company that is making shoes, they want all the shoes made in synthetic PVC, what they have.
Yeah.
And they make the shoes. Even inside, they put something that is synthetic.
For
So
the soul. For the soul.
yes,
Yeah.
for the soul. So what's happened? That after 1 month, 2 months, the shoes start to have a bad noise.
Smell.
There's a bad smell, sorry, a bad smell, because there is no transparency.
Yeah.
So immediately they have to send back all the shoes to this factory. I had to provide them a vegetable sole later.
Yeah.
So they cut the leather, they put inside this sole made vegetable, because the vegetable give you the transparency.
Yeah.
So the food can transport, can breathe, that you don't have with synthetic.
Yeah.
For this reason, even them, the designer and the stylist in this company, they want all the shoes in PVC and synthetic, but after they have a problem on the foot. Because the smell was a disaster. There is no breath in the shoe.
I mean, it basically means that, you know, if you want to use non-leather materials, you really need to do more research, right? And find the right materials for the right functions. You can't just blindly pick materials and hope it will be fine, no?
What we do is when somebody approaches us, we give all the information. Because even on the bags, I got a lot of tech pack, draw, sketches, but by pen on the table is good. After, when you have to build, it's totally different. So we already saw it, and we give all the advice to the, and I have to be honest with you, sometimes I drop some project because they are hard with their mind, and they don't want to follow our advices. So we prefer don't take this project.
So that is quite a common problem with young companies, startups, people who are from the outside, perhaps coming into the industry. They have a design, but when they start discussing it with someone like yourself, the design has to change and adapt, right?
Yes, because sometimes
because of construction, etc., and then there's the whole price point issue.
Sometimes there is a problem. Sometimes there is a problem from because there is a big difference from a draw than the design and when you build a bag or when you build a leather garments, or even inside is the same thing. So what we do is we study very well the tech pack, and from them, after if there is a problem, we call immediately. Yeah. For example, yesterday I was speaking to a customer that I'm making a crocodile luxury product, and we are making belts. And the stitching of the belts, I told him, listen, I think that if we stitch in these versos, will be more chic, more elegant than leave open. Yeah. He understood because he knew that we have more experience, and he says, I trust you, you making this thing. Yeah. And we're changing the belts with this kind of stitching system that is different, but is better. When you will see the belt is another level. But sometimes I have to be honest, there is 10% or 20% that their mind is strong. So this is, no, I want in this way. And I follow the customer. Yeah. But after, if there is a problem, I say, listen, I'm informing to you. Indeed, my office always sent an email where they say, if there is this kind of problem, we want to take no responsibility. Yeah.
So it sounds like you would advise designers, whether they're new or more established, when they have the design concept, it's nice to have it, but perhaps at that point, start discussing it with the manufacturer with regards to how is it possible to make, right? Rather than just finish everything and pass it on.
Mainly of them, they have experience, and the tech pack is good, the draw is good. But sometimes we give even this support, because this is service where we tell them, listen, I think that in this case it's better to work in this way. But when I work with some new company or new designers, I always tell them to give me his direct mobile. Because when I start to work on the table and I have a problem, I have to call them immediately, showing by WhatsApp. The technology gives us a good help.
Yeah.
Because I called by WhatsApp, immediately telephone, I show video, pictures, and so I can show what is the problem on the table. They can understand, and they can change immediately.
Mm-hmm. Is that something, this kind of approach, is that more Italian, or is that, would you say, this kind of in person?
It's my mentality, because if I can improve a product, it's good for me, because they sell and after they go back to the company, you know. Yeah. It's a pity that somebody invests a lot of money to make samples and after there is no orders.
Yeah.
It's a pity. So what I can do is I want to try in the mentality of the customer and try to maximize the draw to be perfect. And even when you sell, if it's another value, you know, I can increase this value. Why not to give an advice? After is the customer who decide.
Of course, yeah. Have you seen now with all these changes, have you seen people maybe moving production from Asia to Europe?
No, at the moment, no. I saw that there are somebody who can check, but I don't think that the people who was working in Asia and they want to go back to Italy, for example, I speak about Italy. Yeah. Yes, they can come, but there are a lot of problems. First of all, it's expensive because Italy is not like China. So they have to change completely the mentality. Second, Italy and how we work in our company is an handcrafted. We have artisans. So we don't confirm any kind of volume because we can't keep that kind of volume in house in Asia, you know. Yeah. We can make, for example, 300 bags, 400 bags weekly, no more. In Asia, there are companies who make 4,000, 5,000 pieces weekly. Yeah. And the price, we make another kind of, my company make another kind of business. It means I prefer that less is better than more. I work for the quality. And even on the price, there is another price than China. So who want to come to my factory back? They already know that the system is completely different, even the price. So I don't know if they can come.
Yeah, no, I see your point completely. I mean, in Italy, everything is, and in Europe, in fact, everything is so much more, first, because we have the minimum wages that we have to pay to people, but the whole approach to the product, it's smaller volume, more labor intense, more attention to details, maybe more complicated design. So it takes more, requires bigger investment. I
think after coronavirus, we are going back to the past. It means we will work better because less quantity, quality. Because coronavirus, indeed, if you, yesterday I read Gucci interview, the designer, that he told that that past is over. Yeah. We have to relax, think well about the collection, maybe twice a year. Yeah. No rush. When I'm ready, the designer says, I make the collection. When I'm not ready, I don't go out. So this is a good way to work because we are going back to the past.
That's what I was telling you the other day when we spoke. That is when I entered the fashion industry 20 plus years ago. That is how it used to be. 2 seasons, 2 shows, you know, none of this pre-collections, post-collection, I don't know, cruise lines, etc. It was just 2 seasons.
Can I show you something? Because I want to show you. Just a second. In the past, because now it's totally changing. Yeah. Because when I studied the new tendance and everything, I used to have some kind of magazine. Yeah. So this is the magazine for the material. Yeah. This is the magazine for the research. Yeah. This is the magazine for the previews. Yes. We have 4 or 5 magazines that we have to study in 1 month, 2 months, because there is pre-collection, collection, preview, anticipation. Yeah. It's completely over everything now.
And how can, I mean, creativity cannot be manufactured so fast and but you know, I think it's really interesting that right now there's no fashion shows. And for some people, it's kind of scary time. How can they create? What's the next trend going to be? Whereas I think it's really liberating. It's for the first time, it's an opportunity to do whatever you want, you know, look for your own inspirations.
I have a designer in Milano, Cristiano Burani, that we work with him since 7 years or 8 years. He is in Milano Fashion Week 10 years. They made the last February. And I made for him all the leather. It means leather garments, leather shoe, leather bags, and all this kind of field is in my hands. I spoke to him yesterday. They are preparing on September the fashion week with the catwalk. I think that they move by internet. Yeah. Everything is online. Yeah. And everybody are preparing. I spoke to him yesterday because the Chamber of Commerce of Milano was speaking to him and give him all the information. Yeah. And he told me that the situation will be that everybody is waiting for September. But September, what will happen? Nothing. Yeah. Exactly enough. It will be not a new era, because we already are in a new era at the moment. Surely the first Milano Fashion Week will be by internet, online.
Yeah.
It is already, and they are preparing all the Zoom, all the platform, how to make the show, the buyers, the producer, everybody on the platform. This is Milano in a couple of months.
Yeah. Well, it will be interesting, for
Let's
sure.
see.
Yeah. How do you see, I mean, if you had a magic wand, how would you like the industry to change? Because I think it's an amazing opportunity for things to happen and for change to take place.
What I can tell you, honestly, I don't know, because it's a surprise for me as well. You know, I'm here and I take every day information, like I'm like you, like everybody. So now we knew that Milano, because I have to prepare now Milano Fashion Week with him, and I already told him, okay, make the collection, and I develop, but it will be an event by internet, online, so no people. So you imagine, no photographer, because how the photographer will be, I don't understand. Let's see what will happen, and we'll live day by day. And
yeah, will you not close the factory for August?
No, I don't know exactly, because the situation is as follows. Generally, we close in August for the weather, because we are in the south, so here is impossible to work. It will arrive temperature 40 degrees, 42. Yeah. So even the workers, they have to breathe.
Yeah.
But we closed 3 months for coronavirus.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly. This is something that honestly, I manage always with the workers, with my team. We speak like a family, and we say, okay, we can work 1 week, 2 weeks. We don't want to work. But honestly, in August, generally, we always take 3 weeks off for the weather, because it's impossible to work.
I thought that August was also because in the leather industry, the tanneries had to clean up, you know, chemicals, etc. No? So that's
we clean up. No, we clean up on generally we clean up every 3 months or every 2 months. But now with coronavirus, maybe every week we have to make sanification. Yes, we have to make sanification. Wow. Before we open,
yeah,
we make sanification before we open.
Yeah.
After every week, we have to sanify all the tools, machine, and the restriction is that today, if you come in my company, for example, you have to sign a document with your name. You have to declare everything. I have to measure the fever, and you enter, for example, at 10 o'clock. When you go out, we have to write when you go out, and you have to sign, and always with the mask and with gloves. Yeah. It's compulsory that you come in at my company this way at the moment.
So that is kind of strange, because you know, you want to touch it. I mean, when I go to factories, I want to touch the leather, the material. How can you do that with gloves?
Instead, no people are coming.
Yeah.
Because first there is the problem of the air. Because I think on Italy, they open on 3 Jan, so next week. Yeah. Indeed, I have some French company. They call me now and they say if I can come. I told, okay, come. But she was very worried because the flight, the ticket is unbelievable. In the past, she came from Paris around 100, 115 euro. Now it's 600. Yeah. Because there is no flight. So this is the main problem. When she come, I have to prepare the certification. She has to declare that she had no coronavirus. She's okay. She has to come with the gloves, mask, because this is the law at the moment. This is the law. Yeah, the new reality at the moment. What we can do? Yeah. No. Otherwise they close you. You know, you can't work. So it's better to follow the restriction, and we are, you know, it's after you. It will become common. Yeah. Day by day, it will become common. Most important that I saw that. In the past, I had a lot of people coming in the company, transport, designers. Now, everybody out. They have to wait. They have to inform us when they come. We open, they can come. It's a bit different.
It is because, you know, it reminds me a few years ago, a factory I used to work with, they had a new CEO come who came from a hotel industry actually. And he wanted to put rigid times and days when customers can come and visit, you know, and you only had like 1 hour window within which you can visit the factory. And it was like crazy. It was like a revolution.
In my company, in the past was a bit different. When you want to come, you come.
Yeah, but most factories are like this. So the fact he wanted to make it so rigid was like complete craziness. And yet here we are. We have to go to this kind of...
But I told you at the beginning that we are going back to the past.
Yeah, yeah.
In everything, from the production, quality, and everything.
Well, maybe it's not a bad thing. Maybe we need to do that in order to take a new direction in a new way.
I think that even to work so stressed, it doesn't have no sense. So it's better now.
Yeah.
Even if in my company we always I pretend the quality. So quality means time.
Yeah.
But now is better because we have to relax. You have maybe to enjoy our living and even the nature. You know, we have to work. But honestly, even we have our lives. We can't. It's better. No stress it.
Yeah. So what would you advise someone who wants to, you know, come into the fashion industry, you know, develop a label or grow a label, move maybe manufacturing to Italy? What's your kind of advice?
The first thing is that they have to think very well about the positioning of the product.
Yeah.
Instead, it means if I'm a new designer and I'm, you know, I want to create a collection. But first that I start to draw, to prepare, I imagine where I have to sell this product. Who are my competitors? What is my range price? Where I have to position my brand? In which way I have to sell my product? By agent, by online, by shops, B2B. So before to start this kind, it's important that they have ready this part. Because that I make a collection and after I don't sell. Or I don't sell because there are other brands better than me. After there is no future. So instead of investing money, a lot of money, because if somebody wants to make a collection to me, a collection of 5, 6, 7, 10 pieces, it's a good investment, not easy. And after there is no future, it doesn't sense. So it's better that they study the final part. So from the final, go back to the beginning.
Yeah, correct. I think most people skip that part, even when they grow as big brands. Well, not big brands, but even when they grow to, you know, decent sized brands, often they have skipped that part, and at some point they have to go back, no, and study their competitors and their positioning in the market. Yeah. But I see a lot of designers who start with a price in mind, then they find, you know, they ask for recommendation of a factory. Let's say they ask me, I recommend you. They go with you, you give them the price, and then they cry because, oh, he's too expensive, I can't sell at this price point, because they didn't do that work at the beginning and that study of prices. So they start asking manufacturers to reduce costs and prices, and it's... How do you feel about that?
That this is not a market. With all respect for China, this is not Asia or Pakistan or Bangladesh. When you work with a company like my company, or even in other company in Italy, you already know that you are working with the luxury brands, with the handcrafted, handmade product. So every product will be different from the other one. And honestly, if you don't give this value, what means made in Italy? Made in Italy is a label. Yeah. For me, made in Italy, when you put a bag or a garment or a product made in Italy, you already have a value. That minimum is 15% of the product.
Yeah.
Because if it's made in Italy, it's made in Italy. So if we don't want to give the right value to made in Italy, it's better that I close and I go to India or Sri Lanka. Why? Everybody, so thanks to this situation of coronavirus, maybe people can understand well that the quality makes the difference.
Yeah.
And of course, we don't want to be the luxury company that we are out of mind when we make the price. But honestly, it's like I go to UK or London. I know that if I go to London, it's more expensive than a small village in the south of Italy, in Sicily, for example.
Yeah.
Oh, no. This is reality.
Yeah.
So in this case, what they want? Do you want the excellence? Do you want the uniqueness? Do you want to be the number one? So you need the made in Italy or made in UK, because I know company in UK that are super as well, or the same made in French.
Yeah.
The
or
same
made in Spain.
made in Spain.
Country with tradition in working in that particular sector.
But the range price that is there, you know, maybe Italy is 10 euro more than Spain. UK is 10 euro more than Italy. But in that case, is nothing, because the value is all height, and this is the price.
Yeah.
If people want to save up money and want a cheap quality, no need to come to Italy. I already tell them, go to Sri Lanka, to Pakistan, to Bangladesh, or to China.
But that's a whole other story. The numbers are there, the volume is different, the leather is different, the interaction.
The service. Because Lorenzo put his face, UK put his face, Desi put his face. If you call me, you have my mobile. If you want to visit my factory, I'm here. Start to go to China.
Yeah.
They are waiting for you.
No, it's true. Okay, well, listen, thank you so much. This has been amazing.
No, you're welcome. I wish you all the best. Please tell me.
Actually, one last question before we go. I wanted to ask you, what is the difference between the factories and tannery area in the south and in the north? Is there a difference? Because most people know about Florence.
But you are speaking about tannery or leather goods manufacturing?
Well, I guess both, about the industry, leather industry in the south and in the north of Italy.
We have to make a separation. It means in the north of Italy, there is a place where is Santa Croce and Arzignano, that is like my zone here in Solofra. There are tanneries.
Okay.
Santa Croce and Arzignano, mainly production is bovine. Is the big bovine, cow, calf. Instead of my zone, is the sheep, goat, so it's the small hides. Okay. So this is the main difference.
Okay.
About tanneries. So if you want the calf, for example, or if you want the sheep or the goat, we can offer, but there is Santa Croce that offer a different product. So this is the tanneries. About the manufacturing, for example, a leather goods manufacturing in Scandicci, in Florence, is the same that it is in Naples, like us, or in Solofra, like us. Is exactly the same. Now, what happened? That there are some brands that work with Scandicci, and other brands that work with Campania, with Naples, our zone. For example, and there is even another zone that is Veneto, the north, that other brands work there. Yeah. It depends on the brands, where it's located. You know, sometimes the brands move from Florence come to Campania, Napoli, from Naples goes to Veneto.
Is there a price difference or minimum order quantity difference? No, there isn't.
I think that the level is the same. Above all, who make luxury, be careful.
Yeah.
Who make luxury, the price is after, it depends on the brands. Because if the brands has a power to buy directly the company, because there are a lot of brands that they bought the factory, because they want their own factory.
Yeah.
Like Burberry, for example, that they bought a company in the north, in Scandicci. Even us in the past, we had some requests to buy for a French group, luxury brand, but we refused completely. Because when you sell, after there is the administration that give you all the information. And by the way, we don't know if we can follow inside, because if they buy, they are free to put inside in the administration everybody they want.
Yeah. Well, it's a different business. It's a different proposition. It's not yours anymore. Yeah.
No, but mainly group wants to, I think that who has perspective in the future are investing to buy the direct company.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons, and you have to be at a certain size to do that. But I can see why they want to do it. They want to secure their supply and the craftsmanship and not be so dependent on other customers. Yeah. But I've also seen and worked for companies that they owned their own manufacturing, and that opened up the door to all kinds of other problems. That when you work with a manufacturer, like let's say yourself, some of the problems are for you to solve, and not for the client.
But after our company is a story, is from our grandfather, mother, you can't destroy your tradition. Why?
Yeah.
for money. Why? That's not sense, you know. So we go on in this way, and I repeat, I like because we are familiar. Maybe in the south, the main difference can be that in our company you can find my uncle, my cousin, you know, all the family work inside.
So it's more family as opposed to business. Yeah.
Maybe this is I don't know exactly, but in the south, what I saw that all companies generally is familiar company.
Yeah. It's funny. I've never thought to ask that question. That's why I asked you. I've worked with both, mostly predominantly over the years with Florence and that area, but also with some companies in the Campania region, Veneto, but never really thought to ask the question. So.
I think that maybe this is a great main difference. That inside we have a lot of familiar, cousin, uncle, father, mother, everything inside.
And I think also maybe some of the factories are more specific to the tannery, because I remember that when I was in Burberry, we used to work, all our gloves used to come from the Naples area.
Because the leather, glove is leather, Naples tannery are the number one.
Yeah.
Nobody in the world can make like a glove made in Naples.
Yeah.
From the leather to the manufacturing.
Yeah.
But they have a long tradition. Maybe it's 1,600. Starts the first glove is in Naples. So it's the tradition and the story. Who wants to make glove has to go to Naples, and who need leather for glove has to buy Naples tannery.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, that's a good place to finish on. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day. All the best.
Thank you. Okay.
Ciao. Bye bye.
Ciao. Okay, Lorenzo. I'm going to stop it here.